evening. I'm Jan Kowalski with Greenslate I Incorporated. And tonight, I'm hoping to be joined by one of our sitting judges, but apparently they're running late. So let me just get started with the show. This is a live interactive show at cantv.org on channel 21, and we're streaming online at cantv.org/hotline. And tonight we're going to be finding out new information about a public act that I heard about that supposedly provides credit towards bail. But before we get into that, let me just tell you a little bit about the show. You can call in with at the address that's at the bottom of your screen with any comments, questions, or concerns about the topic of bail reform tonight. And of course, the number is 738-1060. And I'm Jan Kowalski McDonald, and I'm here with Greenslate Incorporated. And let me tell you a little bit about Greenslate Incorporated. Greenslate Incorporated was founded by Ziv Sistrunk, and it's devoted to assisting ex-convicts. They've got any number of programs, including reentry programs, feeding the families of Inglewood. They've got a Kirby's Kids Camp, and my favorite is the community service program through the Circuit Court of Cook County. So if you've got some unused community service hours you need to fill, please call Greenslate I Incorporated. And let me put it on the screen, so hopefully you can get your pens and papers ready. Here we go. Oh, I'm sorry, that's too far away. Greenslate I can be reached at 217-600-1846. Their website is greenslateinstituteforjustice.weebly.com. And their email is greenslateinstitute4justice@gmail.com. And let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm Jan Kowalski McDonald, and there I am. And I'm an attorney in private practice, and Greenslate enlisted me to help on this TV show. Now, a lot of people might be concerned about my name. It is a Polish surname, and it's Kowalski McDonald. And here I'll show you my little buddy here. This guy is a little koala bear, and he is on his skis. And you're like, well, Jan, why do you have a koala on skis? That's because my name is Jan Kowalski McDonald, and that's to help you with the Kowalski part, my little koala on skis. Now, some of you are going to say, Jan, Kawasaki. No, it's not Kawasaki. It's really the koala on skis. And to help you remember, I've got my little buddy here. This is my little koala, and he is 100% qualified. So when you call in to talk to Jan Kowalski McDonald, try to think of the koala on skis. That might help you. And tonight we're supposed to be joined by a judge to discuss our traffic laws, but apparently he's running late. So let me just jump into this subject. And of course, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please call in. This is a live interactive show, and I'm dying to know what your concerns are. But let me tell you what this is. I read about this in a news article off of the Pantagraph on the internet. And the reporter, her name was Edith Brady Lunny, and that's Brady-Lunny, Lunny, and you can reach her at ebrady-lunny at thepantagraph.com. Now, according to this newspaper article that she authored, there's a new public act, and it's Public Act 1001. So it's the 100th legislature, and it's Public Act 1001. So if you're researching public acts, you need to look for 100-1001. And believe it or not, Illinois has got a General Assembly website, which is the ILGA, and you can search for bills by bill number. So in this case, we're looking for Public Act number 1001. Now, I don't have the full text of the bill, but according to Ms. Brady Lunny's article in the Pantagraph, this bill provides a credit towards your bail. And it's not all bail. Obviously, there are certain violent offenders and people charged with violent offenders that are not eligible to receive this bail credit. But the ones we're talking about are essentially misdemeanors, where there is a cash or an I-bond that's required, and you can't post this I-bond. So this new law is designed to reduce the number of people we have in jail for non-violent offenders. For instance, if you're in jail for retail theft and you've got a $500 bond, in other words, a $5,000 bond requiring you to post a $500 cash bail amount. If this is so, according to this new public act, which I believe takes effect January 1st in 2019, and I'm waiting to see the act, but I think it starts, most acts take effect on January 1st of the following year. So I think it would take effect on January 1st of 2019. If this is indeed correct by this newspaper article, it would provide you with a $30 per day credit towards the bail. So for our person that's in Cook County Jail with a $5,000 bond requiring a $500 cash bond to be posted, this new law would provide a credit of $30 per day towards the $500 cash bond. I think this is phenomenal. Right now, I think even though Sheriff Dart's done a wonderful job of cleaning out our jails, along with the assistance of the legislature, there are still a lot of people that are being held in custody pending trial. And let me clarify this. These are not convicted felons. These are people in county jail that have not yet been convicted of any crime. Matter of fact, in most cases, they have not yet gone to trial yet and are not prepared. Even though I'm sure their speedy trial demands are in place, there's still no trial date has been had. So they're still just merely accused of a crime. And even though we've got bail is constitutionally mandated for certain offenses, a lot of people, $500 cash is an awful lot of money. Well, hopefully if we start getting tax refunds, maybe that'll help. But for most people, it's cost prohibitive. To the extent, for instance, that a lot of people, I don't want to say a lot of people, to the extent that you're forced or placed in a position where unfortunately you have to steal, and not that that's okay, but to the extent that you are caught and you're charged with this crime, then to the extent that you're being held in jail indefinitely because you can't afford a $500 bail bond, this law is going to be very helpful. Last statistics I saw indicated that to maintain an inmate in jail, in the county jail, mind you, we're not talking about the penitentiary, but in the county jail, it costs the taxpayers of Cook County $116 per day for housing, medical care, food, clothing, etc. So to the extent that we're offering a $30 credit towards the bail, I think it's a great thing. I think it's long overdue and coming. So I'd be dying to hear what your comments and concerns are about this bail bond reform law is. I'd love to hear, Ray, if you're out there listening, do you think this is a good idea to give $30 per day credits towards the bail? So if someone has a $500 bail and we give them a $30 per day credit, they're going to be in jail probably, I guess, is that 15 days? I'm sorry, my math isn't so good. But 15 times $30 a day is $450. So maybe they'd be in jail for 17 days if they can't afford to post a $500 bail. And audience, if you're out there, I'd love to hear from you on what your thoughts are about this bail reform. Do we have a caller? Do we have a caller? No. All right, well, let me just continue then. The other caller here is, we were supposed to have a guest, and we were supposed to be joined tonight by one of the sitting judges in traffic court. And unfortunately, a lot of people get tied up with traffic offenses, whether it's failing to signal or maybe even involved in a minor crash. And I was hoping to have the judge here to give us some tips, tricks, and pointers when going to court. And again, I'm an attorney and I'm licensed to practice law in Illinois, and I'd love to give you some tips about how to appear in court. But my first tip would have to be that you should appear in court on time and be properly attired. Now, one of the things I have to tell you is that nowadays, with the security screening that we all have to go through, if your court date is scheduled for 9:30 in the morning, and especially at the traffic court in Daly Center, which is in the Pedway level, or I should say on the concourse level, they call it concourse level, or CL might be your designated room number. Other cases that involving traffic accidents are also heard on the 4th floor of the Daly Center, which of course is on 4th floor. But if you have a case that has a CL room number, that would be on the concourse level, which is also known as the Pedway level. Now, to get there, you're going to have to go through a separate security screening. And unfortunately, while the sheriffs on the main level at Daly Center are extremely proficient at handling people going through these safety screenings, unfortunately, it's a little slower when you get to the concourse level. In my experience, there's 2 or maybe 3 sheriffs that staff the security station, and there's 1 x-ray machine down there. So it usually takes people a lot longer to go through security when you're heading down to the concourse level. So if you're scheduled to appear at Daily Center on the concourse level for a ticket, then I suggest, especially at 9:30, I would suggest getting there at 9 o'clock. You don't want to be late for court. If you're late, you risk the court having already called your case and ruled on it. And a lot of times judges are very reluctant to recall a case. It doesn't matter if you're 5, 10, 15 minutes late. If the citation that you're given indicates that you're supposed to be there at 9:30 and you're not there at 9:30, they can well call the case without you and rule against you. So to make sure that you've got a chance at contesting a traffic ticket, my best advice to you is to make sure that you arrive on time at the Daily Center. And again, in the concourse level, the security is a little bit slower. So please, and a lot of times the security line goes all the way out and down the hallway. I don't know if you're familiar with the red line and the blue line over there, the underground pedway system through the city. A lot of times oh, I'm sorry, we've got a caller. Caller? Hello, caller, do you have a comment or question?
Yes, Ms. Kowalski, this is Ray.
Oh, hi, Ray, how are you?
Oh, great, thank you. And you?
I'm fantastic. I was hoping you'd call. I'm dying to know what you think about this new bail reform law that the legislature passed.
Okay, now, I kind of agree with it, but not for everyone. What happens if they have 100, the time in to get bail, but then they're convicted? Mm-hmm. Do they lose that $500?
No. That's the other thing, is that it's a credit only. So, for instance, if you're required to post a cash bond of $500, you don't have the $500. If you're in there for 17 days, they will give you a credit of $500. But even though your case is done, and even if you're found not guilty, they're not going to be refunding you $500. It's just a credit towards it. And the other concern is, I've known criminal defense attorneys that essentially want their clients to stay in jail pending trial. Believe it or not, these attorneys, their strategy is, well, we'll just wait and let you sit in jail for a while, and that way you've got time considered served, and that way the prosecutor is going to be more lenient. I don't think that's the right tactic, because right now, if you're just accused of a crime, you should be entitled to bail. You're not convicted of anything. It's just an accusation.
Can I suggest this?
Yes, Ray.
For your name, Kowalski.
Yes.
Why can't you put a piece of coal for coal and a wall, and then the koala bear at the end, and then the M, of course, McDonald's. I think that would be better, that coal wall.
You don't like my little koala on skis? You want the coal with the wall, and then the koala on skis.
Yeah, coal, wall, ski.
Well, my concern is that, maybe I'm showing my age, but whenever I think of coal, I think that I was a bad girl and Santa Claus did not like me.
Oh, that makes the world go around, coal. It's like a diamond.
It does, believe it. They talk about fossil fuels, but Ray, they still use an awful lot of coal to generate electric. Every week there's about 100 coal cars that are going down the Burlington Northern line, and I have a sneaking suspicion that those coal cars, I don't think they're going to the steel mills. I think that they're going to the nuclear power plants.
Yes, ma'am, but coal is just a diamond in the rough, and that you are. So coal, wall, ski.
All right, I'm gonna see, Ray. I'm gonna see if I can find a piece of coal. But Ray, I'm dying to know, you retired from the steel mills, didn't you?
Yes, I went to the steel mills. They closed up, and I become a CTA bus driver.
All right. Well, how long were you at the steel mills?
I was there for 3 years after high school. Then I went to the Vietnam, and I came back out. 15 years altogether.
No kidding. You're a Vietnam vet?
Pardon?
You're a Vietnam vet, Ray?
Yes, I am.
That is fantastic.
This is my country. I got to serve it proudly.
Well, I was going to ask you, did you have your birthday?
When is my birthday? March 2nd?
I remember you saying that you were going to be 70 on your birthday.
70 years old. And like I said, one woman is strong, and then when you hit 90, you cut it in half. Then you'll be all right. Believe me.
That's
so much,
fantastic.
Kowalski. I just can't wait to get on TV so I can call you.
You're so sweet, but wait a minute. What should we do about the bail bond reform then? Do you think that we should allow the $30 per day credit or not?
As long as they don't come out with any money, that yes, I could go for that. That's great. That's good. That's one time I'm going to agree with you. Thanks so much, McDonald.
Wait. Before I let you go, Ray, I'm dying to know. I'm dying to know. What did you do at the steel mills?
What did I do?
Yeah, what did you do there?
I was a engineer, a switchman, all of that. In a coal all the time for 10 years.
Wow.
Then for a few years I was the engineer, and then the mill closed. But
yeah,
it's all right.
But then you were at the CTA?
Yeah, I put 20 years in that, the CTA also. 22 actually.
That's a really long time. I can't believe you're going to be 70, Ray. I can't believe it. That's fantastic.
Well, neither can I, but I'm happy I'm here.
Me too. You are really a great, great addition to the show.
Well, I might not be the clearest talker, but I like to talk, especially to someone that understands me.
I think I understand. You're just fine. I'm going to get a piece of coal then, along with a little wall.
Okay. Now you're talking.
But I was wondering why it took the legislature so long to figure out that we should give people a $30 a day credit.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's pretty good.
Well, do you think $30 is too much or too little?
Well, what does the regular prisoner get?
Well, my concern is that it costs the county $116 a day to house an inmate, but we're only giving him a $30 a day credit. And I'm thinking, if you're in custody 24 hours a day, even at minimum wage, that should be $240, right?
Okay, I'll bump it up to $50, and then that's it.
Because I would rather have people out and employed than sitting in jail.
Sure, if they're employed. What happens if they're not employed? That doesn't count?
Well, wait a minute. Let me just clarify. There's different ways to be gainfully employed. Yeah, there is out there making a W-2 wage, working an hourly wage. But there are other work that women have historically done that we don't get paid for. Doing laundry, cleaning the house, vacuuming, watching the kids, grocery shopping, picking up dry cleaning. These are traditional duties as well. So just because the inmate might not have a W-2 job does not mean that they can't be productive. Matter of fact, I think their wife or significant other would love to have them home so that they can take care of the house. What do you think of that, Ray?
Yeah, I agree with you. But the women, we have to worry about them first. Get them the paying jobs, same pay and everything. I'm for equal rights. Believe me, that's why I want to fight. But other than that, I'll give you a call next week. It's a pleasure talking to you as always. Thank you.
Well, wait, don't go. Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
I was wondering if you think that this bail bond reform should be limited to certain crimes. For instance, do you think misdemeanor theft, that should be an offense where you can get the credit? How about other crimes, like arson? Do you think if someone's charged with arson, they should be able to get a $30 per day credit too? I was wondering, what crimes do you think that this can be applicable to?
Paralyze somebody? Of course not. But other than that, a misdemeanor, sure.
Yeah, but there's the full gamut of misdemeanors. We've got misdemeanor assault. How about misdemeanor when someone exposes themselves? Should that be a bailable offense?
Things like that, that's common sense. You don't. If your common sense says don't do it, then don't do it.
Well, we have to leave common sense out of the equation, because a lot of people, if they had common sense, I don't know if they'd necessarily be in jail.
Once again?
If they had common sense, I don't know necessarily if you'd be in jail if you had common sense. Hold on, Ray, I think we have another caller. Do we have another caller?
Hello, Mrs. Kowalski.
Hi.
How are you? This is Paula.
Hi, Paula.
How are you doing? You're looking beautiful this evening.
You're so sweet. Thank you, Paula. What do you think about our topic about bail reform?
I don't, first of all, they shouldn't be in there in the first place, but sometimes you do things that you just don't mean to do and you wind up where you're at.
Yeah, I used to call that being young.
Right. Back in the day when the county lets you go, they always would give you $50 for yourself, for your pocket, to get yourself home safely and a meal. Then you got bondsmen. Some people use bondsmen.
Right.
How much are they going to get out of it if
Right.
you use a bondsman?
Right.
And then you also have a thing called on your own recognizance. Sometimes they let you out, and I don't think a criminal should be rewarded for anything. Just get back out there, get yourself a little job, get back up on your feet, do whatever it has to take for you to not to ever get back in there. That's a terrible law. I don't think you should be rewarded for anything. Just get back out there, get on your feet, learn from your mistakes and other people's mistakes. And when that $30, what are you going to do with $30?
No, but they're not actually given $30 cash. It's just a credit.
Absolutely, Mrs. Kowalski. Just think of all the bonds money that people do pay to get out. Where does that money go?
Well, there's an interesting thing, too. I don't know if most people know about this, but the Cook County clerk, I believe it's the clerk of the circuit court, maintains a percentage of the bond. So even if you were to post...
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. And I don't know where that percentage of the bond's going. I don't know whose pocket's got that one.
That's just one other outlet for Chicago to make money and keep it going around the way it's got to go. Create a little bit more jobs like they keep promising, and maybe that young lady wouldn't be sitting back in there worrying about you giving her $30 because she made a mistake to go steal a piece of steak to feed her family.
Exactly,
Not
and there's other
everybody goes
cases.
to jail for really bad.
No, I personally was in court one time, and a woman was brought in, and she was getting up in age, and she had stolen 3 bars of soap from Walmart.
Right, that's ridiculous. That's tax.
And she was in custody, getting free medical care, free housing, free food, free clothing. Not that I'd want to go there for free, mind you.
That's wasting taxpayers' money right there.
Damn right it is. Oh, can I say that? Paula, I agree with you.
Listen, we got to get rid of the perverts. We got to get rid of the carjackers.
Yeah.
We got to take care of the big guys.
They're the dangerous
people. Let them come in, give them their $50 to get a hamburger on the way out. There's a chicken joint right on the corner.
There is.
Get on probation and be a good girl. We got to get the bad guys. A lot of carjackings, Kowalski.
Yeah, we got to stop that. We got to stop. But that's not what I'm talking about here.
By the way,
this is misdemeanor. This is bail credit for misdemeanors.
It's stupid. It's taxpayer waste of money.
It is a waste.
By the way, I see Mr. Berber last night on TV running for governor.
Oh, did you? Oh, yeah, he's a great guy.
I did. I certainly did. You know, they put it on Telemundo.
Oh, no kidding. That's great.
Nobody could see the debate. I did not see that debate.
Oh, neither did I.
I don't know what the hell channel they had it on. Me, my husband, but I saw my list, Mr. Burden up there. I sure did, shining with his little Debbie snack cake smile. Oh, yeah.
That's
but
right.
anyhow, Mrs. Kowalski, you're a sweetheart. You're so smart. Someday I like to be sitting right next to you on that TV.
Well, you know, I'm looking for a guest for next week.
What's that, honey?
If you want to be on the show next week, just give me a call.
Come and sit right next to you and we'll make the whole Chicago laugh.
We will. We'll light it up.
Hey, and let me ask you one more thing, if you got a minute, about this White House shut house deal with the DACA stuff.
Oh, you know, I hate to tell you this, Paula, but they're giving me the signal I got to wrap things up. Because I have to cut off in exactly 20 seconds.
Okay.
So maybe you can come on next week.
Okay, I will. Have a good night, Mrs. Kowalski.
Oh, thank you, Paula. I appreciate you calling in.
Bye-bye, honey.
All right, and thank you for watching and participating in today's show. I'm Jan Kowalski McDonald with Greenslate I, and tonight we were discussing the bail reform and the $30 per day credit for misdemeanors. And tonight my technician and executive producer has been Ziv Sistrunk. And thank you, and have a good night. And let's hope, Paula, can you give me a call so you can be on the show next week? The phone number is 217-600-1846. We would love to have you. And thank you, and have a good night.